What is routing in Express for building server APIs? Have you ever wondered how your favorite applications know exactly what to do when you click a button or enter a URL? Well, that's where routing in Express comes into play. Routing is a key concept in building server application programming interfaces, or APIs, using the Express framework. It defines how your application responds to client requests at specific endpoints, which are essentially the URL you interact with. When you build a server API, routing determines how the server handles different types of requests. This is done using various HTTP methods like GET, POST, PUT, and DELETE. Each of these methods corresponds to a specific action. For instance, when you want to retrieve data, you would typically use a GET request. In Express, you set up these routes using methods like app-get, app-post, app-put, and app-delete. Let's break it down a bit more. For example, if you want to create a route that listens for GET requests at the user's endpoint, you would write something like app-get/users handler. Here, the handler function is what gets executed when a request matches this route. This is how you connect the request to the code that processes it. Express also allows you to use multiple callback functions for a single route. This is particularly useful for organizing middleware functions. Middleware can modify the request or response objects or control the flow of the application by calling next to pass control to the next handler. To keep your code neat and manageable, Express provides a router object. This lets you create modular route handlers. You can group related routes into separate files and then mount them on specific path prefixes in your main application. For example, if you have a users.js router module, you can mount it in your main app with app/users router. This makes your code cleaner and easier to maintain, especially as your API grows. Another important aspect of routing in Express is the ability to handle route parameters and query parameters. Route parameters allow you to create dynamic segments in your URL, like user IDs or product IDs. This means your API can handle variable data in requests, making it more flexible. In practical terms, routing in Express is how you map API endpoints to the server-side logic that processes requests, interacts with databases, and sends responses back to the client. It forms the backbone of RESTful API design by clearly defining how clients interact with the server through URL and HTTP methods. Overall, routing in Express makes backend development straightforward and accessible. It provides a simple way to define API endpoints and connect them to the necessary server-side code. This helps developers build organized and maintainable server APIs efficiently. So, the next time you click a button or enter a URL, remember that routing is what makes it all happen behind the scenes.